Hey, I'm Chris.
I'm Jase.
This is Wine Chat.
So today we'll be playing around with a blind tasting format. Earlier in the day, we had wine buyer extraordinaire Tony McLaughlin select 3 wines for us to taste, 3 wines of any category. So all we know is they're red, and beyond that, anybody's guess.
So what we tried to do here, taste the wines, we took some notes. We also tried to determine what the wines are, where they're from, what the grapes they're made from are, and then we assigned them a rating, on the traditional 100-point scale. All right.
Okay, so wine number 1, what did you think?
Well, what appeared to me, and it looks young.
I agree with that, yeah.
It has nice concentration. I thought a little bit of, maybe a little pepper on the finish. Some softer tannin, a little ripe berry. How's this playing out with you?
I think I would agree. It's got kind of a comical purple color. It was the first thing I noticed.
Purple's all I could come up with on color.
Extreme violet. Yeah, it's pretty out there. It's definitely a jammy wine. I'd say there's no fruit held back in this wine.
I didn't find it to be like overly fruity, not fruit roll-up fruity, but it's definitely the showcase here.
I'm gonna say I did get fruit roll-up out of this wine. Or more particularly, if you ever go to the Asian market and you get those little haw flakes, the hawthorn fruit was exactly what I got out of this.
Really?
In that dried, concentrated kind of way. I didn't think it was a bad wine. It's actually, I think, a pretty good, I'm hoping, value wine. If it's not a value wine, we got problems. But it should be a good everyday drinker as a patio wine. Pure and simple. This is a fun, enjoyable wine that is not going to pair well with food.
Any idea what you think it might be?
I think it's Spanish.
It's on my list. I couldn't settle on any one specific thing, but Spanish Monastrell was definitely in there. Also, I thought might be a Malbec.
It could possibly be a Malbec, but I just don't think it has the body. So we'll find out. I'll do the honors on the first one. All right.
Bubbling with anticipation.
It is Malbec.
Aha!
So it is not Monastrell. It's tutti frutti, as all get out, really, completely.
In my notes, I definitely put accessible crowd pleaser in here. I mean, I think it just seemed like it kind of rolls with anything, any sort of, a low-key function. It's everyday wine.
I gave it, by the way, I gave this one, I gave it an 86.
88.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's just not really all that exciting otherwise.
Not terribly complex,
All right, so on to wine number 2. Now, I heard some comments earlier. I don't think you liked wine number 2 a whole lot.
I didn't care much for wine number 2.
Why not?
Let's see. I found it to have a little chalky kind of minerality up front. The flavor on this wine, the fruit characteristic, came to me, at first I thought cherry, then I thought penny candy from grandma's house, old sitting around candy. Then it started to come to me sugar-free candy, just not cherry in all the wrong ways. Not at all for me. Kind of in a thin body and an astringent finish that I just didn't care too much for.
I won't say that I found it all that astringent, but maybe there was a little bit of that. I will say I thought the fruit was a little closed, and maybe that's just after coming off of the super ripe wine that we had first. This wine wasn't very expressive on the nose. In fact, as we're this is what I have in my glass now. It's opened up a little bit, but it's still, it's okay. I did like it better than the first one though. I scored this one an 87. For me, this is a solid everyday drinker, and if this is a $10 wine, I'd give this one a thumbs up, actually.
I don't know, any guesses to what it might be?
I would have guessed this one might be Malbec. I mean, it seemed a little overwhelmed by tannin. This might even be a wine that can sit for a year or two. I don't know that it's going to get much better, but it might. So no, I'm completely open. This could be anything as far as I'm concerned. It's a tannic red. That's lacking a little fruit, but is otherwise a solid drinker for me.
I came up with a bad Chianti or maybe an over-extracted California Pinot. Not fun.
Let's see if it's bad Chianti.
All right, let's find out. All right. Oh, it's more Malbec.
So it's a Malbec. Okay. I liked it better than the first one for the money. I'd go with this one, but he's saying no.
Nah, it's not for me.
I'll stick to my guns here. I'm going to say it was an 87-point wine.
I gave it 80. I might be willing to
Ouch.
go 82.
Yikes.